Hey everyone, it's film and TV review. It's about new films, it's about new series, TV series, that is. And I've got George Scott with me because he likes films and he likes their TV series. So I'm going to bring him straight on. And there's my little mate here. And there he is.
Hey, Frank. Good afternoon. Good to
Good
see you. Long
afternoon.
time no see.
Yeah, it is, isn't it? It shows you, doesn't it? You know, this is totally different from what we normally do.
Yeah,
And,
it's good.
It's a bit of a light relief, as they say.
Yeah.
Just a little bit of light relief. I don't know where the vase of flowers is, Lee, because I tried to get hold of him and can't get hold of him.
Well, he might jump in, mightn't he? He might jump in. Anyway, I'm with you now.
Yeah, Jason said, well, he'd have to go on, if he's listening in now, he'd have to go on Messenger, to be honest, because we just can't get hold of him any other way, to be honest. But anyway,
Yeah, Jason sent me the link, so, it's fine. Happy to be here.
Well, he sent it, to be honest, he sent it, I don't know how to get this thing off. Just a minute, George. I just don't know how to get this thing off. I've got a thing there. I won't be able to see any comments, unfortunately, because Jason's working, and this is why. And he forgot to bring out Lee's email address, to send them. So I messaged Lee on this messenger thing, and
well, we can still have a good chat about films, Frank. Anyway, and I'm sure people will be watching and they'll be interested in listening.
I can't get the comments. There's a thing there, and it's only up to Jason to get all this stuff up. I just don't have a clue how to see if. Yeah, let's see comments. Oh yeah, there we are. There's the comments.
I knew you'd work it out.
I'm useless, I'm useless.
There you go.
Donald Murray says, Frankie, and he says there again, Georgie Scott legend.
Oh, there you go. Thank you very much, legend.
And where's the flowers? JK says, afternoon, Frank and George, you'll never walk alone.
Hi, JK.
Lovely. And Lee, I've sent you a link on your messenger. Jason sent it because he never brought your email out, unfortunately. But the link is on your messenger. Go to your messenger.
Yeah,
let me know if you're going. Just let me know now if you're going on the messenger. Okay. Cheers, mate. And then you can join Scott and I, which will be good. This thing's getting on my nerves, Hang on a sec. So anyway, George, have you watched any films lately?
Well, I've not watched any lately, but there's a lot of films that I've loved watching, and I would like your opinion on them as well. I'll give you my opinion. I mean, one of my favorite actors, I don't know if you like him or not, is Bob Hoskins.
Yeah, and brilliant.
I remember a film I watched called The Long Good Friday.
Whoa.
Which was a phenomenal film, phenomenal acting, and a real good story. And the ending was amazing. I think it was one of the finest pieces of acting without any dialogue for about 5 minutes, sat in the back of the car.
You're so right there, because you have Bob Hoskins in one car taken by the IRA, by the way.
Yeah.
And in the other car, you have Helen Mirren.
That's right.
His posh girlfriend taken away. And you know what's going to happen there.
Yeah, because he was a gangster trying to muscle into the IRA got involved. Yeah, no, that was a good film. I loved his films, Bob Hoskins, and I loved Alfred Hitchcock's films as well. Some of those classics.
Yeah, you can't beat Alfred Hitchcock. I was talking. I have a podcast over a Wednesday morning, and it's English literature because I've lectured in English literature, so still have that class. The old students, by the way. And what it is we were talking about, when you see somebody when you see somebody, the likes of Basil Rathbone, for example.
Oh, yeah.
You know, there's no one better than Basil Rathbone for Sherlock Holmes.
Sherlock Holmes, yeah.
The point is, I've read Sir Arthur Conan Doyle's books about Sherlock Holmes, and he honestly, when he describes Sherlock Holmes, he describes honestly Basil Rathbone.
Yeah,
it's incredible how it was described, and Basil Rathbone, you know, is the man himself, you know,
yeah.
to be Sherlock Holmes. Can I just go through these comments, actually? All joins us. Daryl Merry. Daryl, it's not a football thing, but he says 5-0 today. And it's great, isn't it? Norman. Afternoon, Frank and George. Looking forward to this footy chat. What a great Saturday, honestly, God. Soulboy says, "Hey, Frank and George, I'll start you off. Took your advice on The Fallen Idol. Great cinematography when the lad runs through the cobbled street." Thank you for watching that. Thank you so much, Soulboy, because it's a cracking story. It really is.
Who's in that?
I call them three of the greats, right? So you have the likes of Olivier, Gail Good, and Richardson. Well, Ralph Richardson is he's in an embassy. He works in an embassy as like the, how can I put this? Not like a butler, but the boss of the embassy. You know. Yeah. Looking after this embassy with the ambassador and his son. He looks after his son as well. But he's got his wife who works there as well. She's the housekeeper. Now, you're looking at Ralph Richardson as an actor. You know, Ralph Richardson, a great actor. And yet, I've never ever seen him in a love thing, you know, a love triangle sort of thing. But it's a brilliant story. And the lad in it, the young lad, he's fascinated by Ralph Richardson's character, because Ralph Richardson, you know, it's like what I've said to me, you know, my little nephews and things about, you know, we had fought sharks and, you know, crocodiles and everything. They believe you, you know, jumped out of planes without parachutes, and they believe you. Well, he's like that with this young kid. Hence the title, The Fallen Idol.
Ah, right.
You know, so he idolized them. Yet as the story goes on, the idol seems to slip.
Ah, right.
So it's hence try and get it, George. On
I'll have to have a look at that. Yeah, I'll have to look at that. That sounds
you
good.
will enjoy it, and your wife will enjoy it as well. It's not one of those things. But let's go through these. Steve Evans has joined. Steve Evans. Norman says, "I knew."
Yeah, classic. Love that. Gary Cooper.
Yeah. Charlie Wood says, "Hello, Frank and George."
Hi, Charlie.
Norman says, "I Planes Drifter," another good film.
Great westerns.
And Steve says, "One classics, The Reckoning, Gumshoe are a couple of Scouse classics."
Yeah, Gumshoe was filmed in Liverpool, wasn't it?
Yeah, Albert Finney. And The Reckoning was, what's his name? Nicol Williamson. He was a great Shakespearean actor.
Yes.
But he had this terrible, you know, you see him in London, you know, he's a businessman in London. And I think his dad or his mother dies. So he gets called up from London, and he's got this very posh accent. But when he comes to Liverpool, all right there, you know, this is what he's talking about. Hello there. And it is, as Steve says, it's a classic. And JK says, I'm halfway through watching American Hustle, old school film. I think you guys might like it. Christian Bale starring.
He's good,
Yeah,
Christian
I've
Bale.
seen it. I've seen it. I've seen the American Hustle. And he put a lot of weight on for that, Christian Bale, for that particular film. It's brilliant, actually. It really is. And Charlie Wood just seen Ricky on the telly talking about his new film, Our Kid. You're not going to believe this, but he wanted me to be in that, you know. He wanted me to
That
be.
would have been brilliant, yeah.
Anyway, there is no new link, Frank. There's just one from. I clicked, but there's nothing there. I need a link sent, and nothing has arrived. Lee, go on your messenger, on Facebook Messenger. It's there for you. Just go on Facebook Messenger, okay? And you'll join us. You'll join George and I. But Charlie can't get away from football. 3 months a night.
Amazon Prime, get on there.
The King from 1982, yeah, another great thing, you know, another great thing.
Do you remember one years and years ago, Frank, The Creature from the Black Lagoon?
Oh, yeah.
We were just young, you know, frightened to death.
Yeah, and, you know, these are the type of films that frightened us, you know. Yeah. It frightened us. And yet the way it's changed now. Lee says, I love Shakespeare. I went to night school to discover William Shakespeare. We didn't do him in school that I ever noticed. The thing is,
Frank, Lee will love this. Look at this.
Whoa, the complete works. I've got one here myself.
I won that in a sales competition, but it's leather bound. It's fantastic.
Yeah, it's well worth keeping hold of.
When you read it, you know, I was reading it once, watching Henry V, I think it was, on television, and I was following it in the book, because it's all in here. And it's amazing how they improvise.
Yeah.
They don't do word for word. They do fantastic, you know, 5, 6, 7 pages.
Well, why they improvise, George, is you wouldn't understand it. You have to read a Shakespeare play. If it's once appearing on the theatre, you have to read a Shakespeare play to understand it when you go to the theatre. And before I retired, I used to teach, as I said, I used to teach literature. And I had some night school things. And what it was called, the title of what I used to teach, Shakespeare for the Terrified.
Wow.
And it's only like what Lee said, you know, I love Shakespeare. I went to night school to discover William Shakespeare. We didn't do him in school. And it really is. He's coming on. He's got it. He's finally got it. I'm going to add him now. I have to go through these wonderful things, right? You know, just to get hold of our lads and girls out there. Right, so I'm going to go through them. More classics to add to last week's list: The Lady Killers, Get Carter, The Man Who Would Be King, Italian Job, Greatest Show on Air, Whitney and I, American History, Scarface, and the greatest gangster film ever, Once Upon a Time.
Yeah, that was a cracking film.
It was. And Mark Simons, what's he doing?
He's building a new computer there.
I'm just getting the wire that it'll reach. Getting the wire over that it'll reach.
Okay. Mark Simons, Outlaw, Josie Wells, the Best Western. I seen that last week. I watched it last week.
Yeah, well, Josie Wells, I've seen that. My favourite gangster film is the classic of all time, The Godfather.
Oh yeah, undoubtedly the greatest. I followed the franchise of it. You know, the three Godfathers. Incredible.
Absolutely incredible. Yeah, I could watch it again and again. Yeah,
I wanted to go.
Brilliant.
Yeah, I was going to go to Sicily once because I go to Italy all the time, you know, for the holidays. And I was going to go to Sicily and go to Corleone, because that's where they actually filmed. You know, where you see Al Pacino's character over in Sicily after he kills the
I love that part of the film.
Sorry.
I love that part of the film.
Yeah,
it's very nicely shot, isn't it? Like,
where you see them in a cafe, you know, you see, you know, and he's with those two lads who are looking after him, and you just see him sitting outside. I think he's having a glass of wine or something, and that's actually filmed. I'll tell you where it's filmed. It's a road. It's like, how can you say? Do you know if you go down to Lord Street, not Lord Street, Hanover Street and Church Street, you've got that building at the bottom of the bottom of Old Street. You've got that building,
in the corner,
and it goes down Dale Street. I'm talking about it goes down Church Street and along Hanover Street. Well, that particular cafe is like that because you've got roads on either side and another road there, and it was very busy, and the police had to stop everything while they filmed that.
Yeah, I was there in the summer, Frank.
Was you?
Yeah, I was in one of the stops on a cruise. We had a bit of a cruise, but it was a bit of a disaster because my wife got COVID. But we did get on the excursion onto Sicily. That was really interesting.
Did you go to Corleone?
We didn't go to Corleone. We're in the capital, in the main, you know.
Palermo.
Messina, I think it was.
Yeah, Palermo. Messina.
Messina.
On the bottom of the
bottom of Messina. There's a lot of talk about The Godfather being filmed over there.
Yeah. It was unbelievable.
Sicilian mafia.
Oh, well, they're the boys, you know, and the Napolese. Do you know that if you're, you know, to join the mafia, I'm talking about in America, your family had to be either from Napoli or Sicily. They were the Nero, the Black Hand.
Yeah.
They were the Black Hand. So, you know, Nero Mano, that's what it was called, Nero Mano, the Black Hand.
Yeah.
And to be in the mafia, you had to be there. Some, like, what's his name? Fella named Hill. His mother was a Sicilian. And that's how he joined, you know, the mafia. No outsiders could come in.
No, you don't want to cross them either.
No, you don't want to cross them.
You end up in a bridge, in the concrete in a bridge.
Yeah. Become part of the bridge.
Traffic flow. I kid said to me once, he said, because half of the family, you know, on the Valenti side, our family.
Yeah,
they went to America, right? They went to New York, Chicago, and down to San Diego. So they were over there. We know, honestly, we know a couple of the family who are, you know, they're connected, put it that way, they're connected. And our kid said to me once, "What do you think that they come over here and connect us?"
No.
There's lots of good TV series, you know, about mafia or Camorra on the telly, you know, modern ones like Romanzo Criminale was a good one. Gomorrah was another good one. There's been loads. Gomorrah was a good one. I think it was lots of people watched it because I heard people in the pub saying they were watching that, like, you know what I mean? Yeah, it was a good one. About 2 years ago, it finished.
Yeah. Well, it's Gomorrah is, you know, it's an offshoot of the mafia. It's an offshoot.
Gomorrah. Yeah, the Gomorrah as well, isn't it?
What did you think about Johnny Brasco starring Al Pacino and Johnny Depp? Ask JK. Did you ever watch that, George?
No, I haven't seen that. Obviously, I like
good film.
I like both those actors. They're brilliant. But I mean, no, I haven't watched that.
It's a true story, George. It's about the mafia.
Dominic Brasco, yeah.
Yeah, Johnny Brasco, it's called. It's really good. Charlie Wood says The Reckoning is the same story as Get Carter. You're right.
Yeah.
You're right.
Yeah.
You're right. Nicole Williamson. After a great film, actually. And a great, you see great shots of Liverpool. There were great shots. I'll come out with a film, and it was done in the 50s. I'll think of the title. And if you can get hold of it on YouTube or anything, I'll try and get the title. And the shots of Liverpool was unbelievable. The overhead railway and everything was in it. I'll tell you who was in it, starring it, Susan Hayward.
Oh, Susan Hayward, she was nice, yeah.
Yeah, well, she came over from America to here, and I forget the name of it. And Peter Finch.
Peter Finch. Yeah, they were all big stars, weren't they?
Oh,
massive names, but I can't picture their faces, them two.
Well, when you think of Peter Finch, just look at Georgie's, the image of him.
When I was young, I had a nice quiff.
Oh, I've seen it, George. I've seen it, yeah.
Well, there you go,
Yeah,
just imagine Peter Finch and, imagine me, and we were like twins. I tell you, I used to be called Ed Cookie Byrne.
Really? Yeah, 77.
Oh, yeah.
Because I used to do all this and I used to do all that. I don't now, I just do that.
Just polish your head. Do you know what? You had, Peter Finch, George Segal.
Yeah.
I love George Segal. He was great.
Tell you another great actor, George C. Scott.
Yeah, George C. Yeah.
Then Patton.
George C. Scott, Patton, yeah. And Walter Pigeon. So you had all the birds there, didn't you? And you had a footballer named Peter Swan.
That's right, yeah.
All the nice little birds.
There's an actor, Daniel Peacock.
That's right, yeah.
Daniel Peacock, yeah.
Yeah, I remember him.
Yeah, good actor. Daniel, like the son from the other Trevor. No, hang on, I get mixed up now. Daniel was the son, wasn't he, from Trevor Peacock, who was in The Vicar of Dibley. Well, Daniel, I think he's just recently died, unfortunately.
I think he did, yeah.
Now, he was in a picture, and it was so funny. It was so funny. I only ever seen it once, and it had me rolling, honestly. And it was called The Party. It was called The Party. A party going on in some house. It was hilarious. Never ever seen it again after that. And it's a shame, really.
It's like that, isn't it? It is like that. Sometimes you see a film and you'll just never see it again, and you never hear it again. A film that makes a mark and leaves a mark, but
it does.
No one else has ever heard of it. You never see it again.
Mark, yeah. Afternoon from Wavertree, gents, says Gary Rigby. Good afternoon, Gary. Steve Evans, True Confessions, Main Street, Midnight Run, Casino, Goodfellas, The Deer Hunter, Heat, Godfather, De Niro is my favourite actor. He's an unbelievable actor. He's the sort of actor that can play comedy and also very sinister people.
In Goodfellas, who was the little fella in Goodfellas? He was the right guy. Yeah, he was him. He was brilliant acting.
Do you know what Pesci is in?
He was vicious.
Do you know what Pesci means in Italian? Fish.
Yeah, fish. Yeah.
So his name is Joe Fish.
Yeah. Joe Fish. Episcopalian is relating.
I remember they were playing cards and he shot a guy in the leg.
Yeah.
Brilliant, absolutely brilliant. Mark Simons. Vasa Flowers is Morrissey's twin.
Yeah,
I'm a massive Morrissey fan. I have been since I was like about 19.
Is that why you're at plastic surgery?
My son was a big fan of Morrissey as well. Yeah, he was a big fan of them. You know, I couldn't understand it at the time, but I mean, he was a big fan.
It's just really good lyrics, George. There's a weighted intellect behind the lyrics. It sounds a bit depressing to a lot of people, but you know, Bob Dylan didn't have a good voice. Lots of people weren't particularly great singers.
Yeah, because wasn't one of the things he used to sing, like, I'm quite an optimistic person. He used to sing, I'm so miserable now.
Yeah.
I said to my son, why is he miserable? Because I didn't understand. But you're right, the lyrics are good, yeah.
I've got
to love him.
Yeah.
This is film on TV reviews, and you're going on about bloody Morrissey.
Well, somebody said, looks like
someone said that that's why he had plastic surgery, like to look like him.
You look like Mossa.
He went to Turkey to get plastic surgery. I want to look like Morrissey.
He lives in America now, as far as I know.
Well, keep it level, says Hello, Frank and Panel. Keep it level, that's good. I hope he's not going on about. Vasa's just doing the dishes, says Anne. You know, with all that noise that you were doing.
Clank, yeah.
And Soulboy says, here's my favourite.
Charles Lawton,
yeah. Hobson's Choice, the great Charles Lawton, The Secrets of Victoria with Anthony Quinn, yes, about protecting wine from the germ. That's brilliant.
Hobson's Choice is the best shout so far.
Well, Santa Victoria with Anthony Quinn, he plays the mayor, Bombolini. Have you ever seen Anthony Quinn play in a comedy role? He was so funny, Bombolini.
Now, I remember him in Zorba the Greek.
Oh, fantastic. So he had that, like, look, didn't he? You could put him in any sort of country, South America. Well, he was part Mexican, wasn't he? But he could play Italian, he could play any South American, he could play anything. But I've never seen him in Santa Victoria as the mayor Bombolini, and he was so funny. It's well worth trying to get hold of if you want a good laugh, because he's the mayor. He's trying to keep the wine from the Germans, and the Germans were harassing him. You know, it was like a comedy drama, to be honest. But that's a nice one, that. Thanks, Soulboy. Great, that. Corleone would be such a nice place to visit. Old school way of life. You're right there, JK.
Yeah.
You're right. I've never been there, unfortunately, but one day it really is on my bucket list.
I was
film with Bob Hopkins as Mona Lisa with Kathy Tyson.
Yeah.
All his films were good, all of them.
Says Charlie Wood. Soulboy. I'm talking of Hitchcock, Strangers on a Train with Farley Granger, where they swap murders. Yeah.
It's unbelievable, you know. His films are unbelievable, Jack. Hitchcock, I mean, Vertigo, North by Northwest, they were all unbelievable films. Psycho, that frightened me to death.
Frightening. Do you know what got me about that film? I'll tell you what it was. It was the music.
Yeah.
And when the camera work, not in the shower scene, but it's when the detective's walking up the stairs, right? And the camera goes right up, and what you see coming out is the woman stabbing him going down the stairs, and he's falling backwards. Absolutely terrifying.
Arbogast, isn't it? His name, Arbogast.
Yeah, I didn't know that.
The private detective.
I'm not reading that by Norman. I'm not reading that joke. I went to the docs today. I said, I need more sleeping pills for the wife. The doc said, why? The doc said, why? I said, because she's woken up. Oh, God, blimey. Yeah, but I really need to talk about a couple of films that I recommend. You know, the new ones. Teresa, good story about the making of The Godfather, George. The Offer. That's a TV series.
Yeah.
It's a cracking TV series. Thanks, Charlie, for coming out with that, because it really is.
Where will that be on? Netflix?
I don't know. I've seen it. I've got a stream. I can get anything on, and I watched it on that particular stream. It might be on Netflix. I don't know, George. It might be. I'm not quite so sure, but it's absolutely brilliant.
You can Google it anyway. Find out.
It really is good. Steve Evans. My film watches recent. Was the latest one. Three billboards and the Commitments, and the latest Ken Loach, The Old Oak. Great film that.
Good trio, that Steve. Good trio of films, that.
Yeah, The Commitments were brilliant, weren't they?
Yes.
Great film. Great musical film. Great Irish acting.
Great music.
Billboards. Funny enough, Steve and I were talking about that last week, and I said the fella who stole that, and he steals a lot of films he's in, is Sam Rockwell. Sam Rockwell is a great actor, if you've ever heard of him or seen him. TCM used to have good films on. Yeah, I can't get that anymore.
Yeah, that's right.
Charlie would say, been watching The Godfather of Harlem. Well, I know Steve Evans like that. That's a TV series with Forrest Whitaker. JK, Johnny Brasco is my top 5 classic Italian way of life. Yes, you would love it, George. Let me know what you think of it after you've watched it.
I'll get hold of that.
You will like it. Susan Hayward of Rawhide, says Norman. I don't remember being in that, Susan Hayward.
Rawhide, in Eastwood.
Ratatouille, says JK. Yeah, a classic animation. Yeah, it was about a rat, wasn't it, in Paris? Ratatouille.
I think I've seen some of that. I think I've seen a bit of that.
It's brilliant, Ratatouille. It really is. My favourite animation, and I recommend to get it. Your wife would love it as well, George.
Yeah.
If you can get it, right?
Yeah.
It's called. You've got to watch it. It's absolute. It's a pixel film, and it's called Up. Up. That's all it's called. Right. It's brilliant, and I'd recommend anyone out there to watch it. Watch Up.
Okay. Okay. I'll let you know. Yeah, I'll let you know.
That's all it's called, Up. And it's absolutely brilliant. The storyline is incredible. And
Sorry. Where were you living, George, when you and Carol got married? Were you still in Scotland, or did you move to Liverpool?
No, we got married on the same day England won the World Cup, 30th of July 1966, and we flew to South Africa on the 8th of August. So our first house was in Port Elizabeth.
Ah, right. I wasn't sure if you got married just before you moved to Liverpool, or during, or after.
No, the year I left.
Does Carol like the same type of films you like often, or do you have different tastes?
I think we've got different tastes. She likes the old feminine stuff. She likes the romantic stuff, really, more than the thrilling stuff.
Yeah.
We've got different tastes in everything, like most couples who have been together 57 years. So it works quite well.
Yeah, it's a good mixture.
Yeah. So I like lots of films. I mean, I like Frank. I like a lot of the older films, to be honest. But I think the acting was amazing, and there was no internet, and there was no other attractions. The film stars were huge stars, weren't they?
Yeah.
You know, we all used to flock into the cinemas to watch them and be thrilled by them. You know, and that's what I like. But the modern films are good as well. The new ones, some crackers. They've got all the modern technology. They can The kids love to watch these Captain Marvel stuff and all those I must be the only guy to fall asleep during Star Wars. I
You
took my
know what?
grandson to see StarArs, and they'd never forgiven me. They looked at and they nudged me. Can't you're sleeping?
I've never seen a Star Wars film.
No,
It's one of my earliest memories. I think I was 4. I was 4 years old, and my mum and dad took me to see it on. Do you know the pictures that was by St. John's Market on the corner by Lime Street? Remember that pictures, the big one there, the Odeon, was it?
The Odeon, yeah.
I think I was 4, and my dad left during the film because he said it was too loud for his hearing, and he buggered off to the pub and left me and my mum watching Star Wars, me and my mum and my sister. But I remember it. I remember as well, Rise and Damp was on the telly when we got home. That sort of cemented the memory of it, because Rise and Damp was on the telly when we got home.
Well, anyway, Mark Simon says, I went to Sicily and Corleone means lion's heart. And the village is preserved like the movie, not far from the volcano Mount Etna. Lucky Luciano died in Sicily, and family members now control the government.
Hey, that's some great names, isn't it? Lucky Luciano. You know?
I was watching an Italian film with a good name before, The Husband Olympics, La Olympiad, no, was it Dell'Olimpiad El Marita or something? What is it, Frank? The Husband Olympics in Italian, Del Marita, Dell'Olimpiad, Del Marita or something. And it was a load of married blokes like having trouble and that way. It was from the 40s.
Marita.
I found it on YouTube before. I joined something. It's called Cult Classic Cinema, and it just puts up like random films to have a look at. I only watched 10 minutes, but it looked all right.
It's so funny. I'm sorry there, I've lost a lot of things. Neil Broderick says, Frank, what's the English programme shown every Xmas Day in Germany? It's black and white about a man in a big house with tables set for 20 guests, but he plays every guest and drinks all the beer. It's hilarious. Don't know. Haven't a clue.
Frank, did you ever see a film called 12 Angry Men?
Oh, brilliant.
That was it. But the
brilliant. Yeah. Absolutely. Henry Fonda.
That's right. Yeah. I love that. That was a fantastic film.
Absolutely.
All the way through.
It was class. Great acting.
Yeah.
And there was a fella in it. Oh, I forget his name. But he was just shouting all the way through, and he's getting on.
Was Ernest Borgnine in that? I can't remember.
No, Ernest Borgnine wasn't. No, there are some faces that you'd recognise, but you won't remember the names.
Yeah,
there's one where Henry Fonda plays an alcoholic priest, but I can't remember its name. But it's really good.
Yeah, can't remember that. Henry Fonda.
He was a good actor, wasn't he, Fonda?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, he was. Well, there's Norman Sue and Bob Sue was on last week. I was talking to George. Oh, what's his name? I always forget his second name, but he played Bob in that Rita and I said to him, I said, that's one of the best films I've seen. And the fella who plays the drunken dad of one of the girls, I said, was he really drunk? He said, no, he was just acting. And he was brilliant, as this drunken dad. And I said, why wouldn't there be a follow-up? Why wasn't there a follow-up? And you know what he said? The writer died and the director. And they both of them died. So that's why it was never, there was never a follow-up, because it was really a great film. Soulboy says there's a new Scorsese film on the flower moon. Yeah, it's that's Leonardo DiCaprio. True story, by the way. And JK says, what did you think of The Irishman by Scorsese?
Not seen that, yeah.
It's quite long, wasn't it?
Yeah.
It's good, though. I enjoyed it.
The basic premise of the film.
It was about Jimmy Hoffa. It was about the death of Jimmy Hoffa. That's what it was all about.
Okay.
The union man in America, leader of the union, Teamsters Union.
Yeah, well, I like the Hoffa stuff. I like the Hoffa story. It's interesting. He's definitely in cement somewhere, isn't he?
Yeah, he's holding up a big road, a big flyover. There's old Jimmy.
He didn't sound like a pleasant character anyway, Hoffa.
Well, it was, and then they never found him.
No. Norman says, same as me, George, both asleep during Star Wars.
Well, my youngest son loved it. He had all the equipment, and he's only about 10 at the time, and he loved it. Like my other grandson now likes the latest one, Harry Potter. It's for the kids, isn't it? Really.
Don't like Star Trek. That never did nothing for me. But Star Wars was the big one for me as a small boy. We had the figures, the films.
Yeah, I can understand that.
Yeah.
There's Jamie, look, Jamie Phillips football chat. Frankie, baby.
Love that.
This is not about football, Jim. Someone said, Frankie, you're a man of many talents. I said, why? What do you mean? He said, you've got a film review. You do your history thing. You do the football podcast.
You're a man of many talents, Frank. I think that's what they need. A man of many talents.
Cooking show lined up, haven't you, mate? A cooking show.
Well, honestly, I love films. I really do. I've always been a film buff, to be honest.
Have you watched one called Double Identity?
Yes.
Barbara Stanwyck was in it.
Yeah.
Fred MacMurray.
Fred MacMurray and Barbara Stanwyck. Brilliant film.
That was fantastic. Big twist at the end.
A film noir. Absolutely brilliant. Great Fred MacMurray in it, isn't he? He's really good. Yeah. Fred. The only thing with Scorsese now is he does only 3-hour epics. He does 3 hours.
They're pretty violent as well.
And as Norman says, the dad was incredible, drunken dad. He was unbelievable. And he says the lady was the writer. I didn't know that, but that's all he said to me. What was his name? George. Forget his name. And he's a smart. He had a few babies with him all day and night. Yeah. Who shot Jesse James? Which actor? Well, he was Lee Marvin. No, hang on. I'm getting mixed up with Liberty Valance. With John Wayne.
That was the man who shot Liberty Valance. That was James Stewart.
Yeah. Who shot Jesse James?
Have you ever seen Point Blank with
Lee
Marvin?
Yes.
Brilliant.
Yeah, it's they remade it as Payback with Mel Gibson.
Yeah,
it's exactly the same film, exactly the same.
Yeah,
but you put Mel Gibson and Lee Marvin, no comparison. I'm afraid, no comparison.
Blank's brilliant. Yeah.
Do you know his co-star who was in that, by the way?
Who?
The other killer, you had Lee Marvin. There was two hitmen going around having to do the hits. And he's got an unusual name, Clu Gulager. Clu Gulager.
It's an unusual name.
Yeah, he's been in some smashing films, actually. But also he was in that. And, Clu Gulager and Lee Marvin go in, and you just see a fella standing there. He just goes like that. He didn't fight. He never went like that at anything. And Lee Marvin, after they hit him, Lee Marvin says he knew what was coming. And this is where the film changes, actually. He knew what was coming, and I want to know why he knew.
I saw Payback with Mel Gibson first, and then when I seen Point Blank, I went, hang on, I've seen this film. Another one like that is, what did I have in mind then? The Departed, Martin Scorsese. There's a Japanese film called Infernal Affairs, exactly the same film, but at the end in the Japanese film, the Matt Damon character doesn't get killed. He has to live with the shame of being a grass in Japanese society, which is in Japanese society, he's left to live and live with the shame rather than being shot by Wahlberg. I've told you the end, but it's the same film with a different end.
Yeah, he goes on and on and on. I was going to watch that right after this. Listen, I'm waiting for the thing. Carry on. I'm waiting for the.
Yeah. Some good films. There are some great films in the past. You know, some of them have been brilliant. You know, I like One Flew Over the Cuckoo's Nest with Jack Nicholson.
Yeah,
well, that was a cracking film.
Very sad as well, isn't it? Like, you know, it's an amusing film, but it's very deep and sad, isn't it?
Yeah,
like that
it
film.
is. The big Indian at the end, and he throws the thing through the window and gets. Yeah. It's very sad. And the other one I liked was a war one. Who was in Tom Hanks, the Germans, not too long. Private Ryan, that was quite moving for me because my father was killed in Normandy, and it hit a chord with me. He was only 20 when he was killed in the Gordon Highlanders, and the whole film, the theme was of him at the end. So, was I a good man? You know, it was very sad.
I never knew that, George. You didn't know that about your dad.
Yeah, I was quite moved in that film. I remember I went with my two sons, and it did hit a chord. It was a great action film, but it was very sad, I think, at the end.
Yeah.
Yeah, he was only 20, and he was killed in Normandy just after the D-Day landings. So I never knew him, really.
Yeah.
You know what? I've been waiting for the bloody delivery. You know, off Amazon.
Yeah.
And I said, are you in? He went, yeah. And he, what? He's left it downstairs. Come mad.
Oh, come up. You should ring the bell and come up, yeah.
You should do, yeah.
I've never used them. Did he do that much, do the Amazon, or is it usually good? They just phone?
Yeah, they do everything. They do everything. They sell everything.
You know. Did he phone you, do they, or something? Did he text you?
No, I had to get a book for, you know, for my literature class because we're starting a new one next week, so I had to get it in. And I get the Christie one.
Very good.
Hercule Poirot.
Oh, yeah.
And it's
who was the best Hercule Poirot, you think, Jack? Who's the best actor that portrayed Hercule Poirot? Been a few, wasn't there? Been a few.
Yeah, there's been a few. I didn't like Albert Finney as he never done me, Albert Finney. I'll tell you who it is. The fella who's on the TV series.
Yeah, I can see him now. Yeah, with
David Suchet.
Yeah, that's the man. That's the man.
Kenneth Branagh played him recently, didn't he?
Yeah, I
haven't seen it.
I just watched it. Death in Venice. And Murder on the Orient Express he did, and also Death on the Nile, which it went total woke. Yeah,
that's the trouble.
It went total woke, which I never even watched it. It's a great cinematography, but as regards as woke, I just stopped. I said, no, this isn't this. This isn't well.
Keep it to the original.
It's horrible when they spoil things like that with stupid bits.
Of course. And now they're starting to do historical stuff as well. Yeah. And it's just not right. It's wrong.
No, I agree with you, Frank. I agree with you. You should keep everything originally as it was, how it was written.
Right. So the brother comments about this Christmas party. He said he found that it's called Dinner for One, only on for 10 minutes. It's English made, but some unknown reason the Germans have it. Well, Norman says the Irishman's wife was in labour. She rang 99999. Lady said, "Is it her first child?" Irishman said, "No, I'm her husband." Oh, come on. You got to give us a break. I'm trying to get through some films here.
He's competing with your Francine as a comedian.
She's got a paid gig. You know, when she went for this thing last week or the week
Southport, yeah.
Yeah, and this someone who won it, you know, has all these people supporting, and it all goes by claps and everything else. But anyway, this fella came over, this proper comedian, and he said, "You were good." He said, "If it would have been me, you would have won it." He said, "But what I'm going to do is, I'll get you a paid gig." And he was true to his word.
Very
so
good.
She's got a paid gig out of it.
Very good.
Anyway, Mark Simon says, if you want a great mafia-based foreign film, which is The Prophet, about a young man who gets put in a French prison and is forced to kill someone for the mafia, while the great film. I haven't seen it.
Sounds good.
That'll be a French film, though. Okay. George Costigan, that's him. Thank you so much, Norman. Thank you.
The actor, George Costigan, yeah, I remember him.
Hello?
Yeah. The French Connect. I'll have to wait for George to come back. Unless you want to talk, I'll have to go and get this package because someone might just take it.
Okay, yeah.
Is that all right?
The French Connection, Mark Simons has said there.
Yeah. Gene Hackman and Roy Scheider. Absolutely brilliant at the French Connection.
And Sidney Lumet was a brilliant director, wasn't he? Or Sidney Lumet, however you want to say it. Sidney Lumet. He's a great guy.
Yeah, it's Lumet, isn't it? Because he is French. John Carradine shot Tyrone Power in the back, says Soul Boy. That's, who shot Jesse James.
Yeah.
I think that was the title of the film. We're saying, I don't know who shot him.
The guy's name was John Ford. John Ford, isn't it?
Yeah. Infernal Affairs, says Charlie Wood. Another original film. Yes. Sidney Poitier, says Norman, it was a great actor. Yes.
Oh, yeah, I loved Sidney Poitier. He was great, yeah. He was really good.
And Anne says, not Anne, I'm sorry. Norman says, I got George book from Amazon.
Yeah. Best place to get it. Yeah. Next day delivery.
JK says, sorry to hear about your father, George. You never walk alone. Times were hard and everything was hard. This is why we had a great manager in Bill Shankly, because he knew what we were going through, to be honest, in Liverpool. Yeah. Shankly would have chosen Tom Finney over Albert Finney.
Oh, definitely.
The English comedy scene is pretty big in Berlin, says JK. Oh,
nice to hear. Berlin intrigues me as a city, like.
David Suchet is the best Poirot. Yes, absolutely. He was brilliant in Blot on the Landscape. Blot on the Landscape. Listen, lads, just talk between yourselves, talk to the people out there, because I'll have to go down and get this thing. I have to go down the stairs, you see. Is that okay? I won't be long. I won't be long. Thank you.
Be careful, because, them stairs are quite steep.
I'll get the lift.
I went to visit Lee. I went to visit Frank. He invited me over to see him. I went to see him about a month ago, and I went around there and I couldn't get in. It's one of them apartments where you have to press. The the lock was on. I was trying to get in. I had to ask somebody, how do I get into this place?
Yeah.
Anyway, eventually I managed to press the right button. Frank let me in, and I went up. And it's a cracking place, but it's very secure, which is good.
Yeah.
I got up there all right in the end.
I know sometimes when you turn up at places, you're like, how are you meant to get it? Where's the intercom?
Yeah, when it's an apartment block, you don't, because they're pretty secure these days, aren't they?
Yeah.
You have to sort of be sure that you press the right buttons. So what films do you like, Lee? What type of films are you interested in?
I like all sorts. I like a good mix, but I would say in recent years, as I've got older, I've been watching like westerns and stuff more because. Sorry, just let me have a drink of water.
Yeah, some good westerns, isn't it? Some brilliant westerns, really. Good, the bad, and the ugly.
When I was like a child / teenager, the obsession with westerns was sort of like dying out. Like my dad's generation, they were all massively into westerns, like not just the films, but the TV series.
Yeah, my generation. Yeah, you're right.
Yeah, your generation.
Yeah.
I was dying out a bit when I was a kid and there were new things. But as I've got older, I've always liked them and I've always watched, obviously everyone's seen, all the Clint Eastwood ones, everyone's seen them.
Yes.
But as I've got older, I've started watching all the older ones, the different ones,
Well, in the old days, they used to film them all around Hollywood, in the hills around Hollywood, in the big boulders and canyons. And they used to have loads of horses and guys riding horses, shooting guns as they were riding the horses. And then they get falling off the horses. And I used to be amazed how they did it. The stuntman must have been amazing,
They must have hired a lot of stuntmen, mustn't they? Because there was a lot of there was a lot of stunts going on, and there was multiple horses in scenes, wasn't there? And all that.
And wagons, all people. Yeah. I mean, you got these wagons, and they're riding the wagons, and the guys in the back of the wagon shooting at all the Indians coming along. They're all on horses, and every couple of seconds, there's one falling off a horse. Must have changed an amazing amount.
Tell you the good one. I like Little Big Man with Dustin Hoffman. Did you ever see that? Yeah. That was a good one, wasn't it?
Yeah, I think it is. Yeah.
A Man Called Horse with Richard Harris.
Richard Harris, yeah.
Good one, wasn't it? And they're the ones everyone's seen, really, aren't they? Like, we're growing up. I'm 50 now, like Sean Bounds have seen that. But like you say, I've been watching the much older ones, from like the 40s and that in recent years. And I've got into it. I've got into them and really started enjoying westerns.
It was all very innocent in those days. You had people like Roy Rogers, and he had a horse called Trigger, and then it went to people like Johnny Mac Brown and Gene Autry, but they're all big stars, these cowboys.
Yeah.
In the 50s. They were huge stars, big followings.
The
stuntmen were incredible, really. Talking about westerns, Frank.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. The greatest western I ever seen was The Wild Bunch.
Yeah.
That was the best western ever. And it was Sam Peckinpah who directed it, and he put everything in slow motion. And when I first seen it, I went, whoa, because you see a fella, and the bullet goes through here, and you see the blood coming out at the other end.
Technology, though. Yeah.
Fantastic film. Great cast. Now, Ernest Borgnine was in there. William Holden.
I loved him, yeah.
Oh,
what about Big John Wayne? Big John Wayne, She Wore a Yellow Ribbon and all that. Them films, they were great.
You had like a group of directors, didn't you? Who were, they probably didn't even know each other, but they were seen as the masters of making westerns, weren't they? And Peckinpah was definitely one of them, wasn't he?
Yeah, some good ones. Yeah.
Yeah, look, the capo from Columbo, crime family of the New York, Michael Franzese, came to Liverpool on his UK book tour, and said the Irishman was half made up to create book sales, and Frank Sheeran didn't kill Hoffa. There you go. There you go.
Never know who did.
See, the thing is, with the likes of some people, writers, that is, screenwriters, they have to put dramatic purposes in. So they make up things, and sometimes it comes on, it says, there are characters here whose names have been, and all this. And so that's your dramatic, that's for your dramatic purposes, because they do bring in like characters that, were fictionalized.
You were great. There's somebody mentioned High Noon before. That was a great film as well.
I knew it was unbelievable.
Gary Cooper.
I'm going to give a couple of films. I'm going to review them now that people haven't seen, and I'd really like people to see them. One, I did mention it to Lee. One is called The Last Voyage of the Dementor, and it's a film based on the captain's log of Dracula, Bram Stoker's Dracula, and it's based on that, and it's a really good film. It really is a good film. It's a sort of a take on Dracula, but it's really, really good. If you don't like Dracula films, still watch it, because it's not like Christopher Lee or anything like that. It's
I'd definitely like to see it, mate. I'd definitely like to see it.
It really is a good film, The Last Voyage of the Dementor. And also, there's another film. Your wife would love this, George. Honestly, it's a really cracking film. And when you see the cast, I'll say the cast who's in it. Excuse me. It's a comedy drama, by the way. It's a comedy drama. And it's the cast is Dame Maggie, right? We all know who Dame Maggie Smith is, right? Dame Maggie. Kathy Bates, great actress, Kathy Bates, American actress. Another great American actress is Laura
Linney. Laura Linney.
I couldn't think of her saying, Feeney, Laura Linney and Stephen Ray. Great Irish actor, Stephen Ray. Yeah. And it's a comedy drama, and it's called The Miracle Club.
I'll write it down, Frank.
It's set in Ireland. And it's called The Miracle Club. And The Miracle Club, it's a trip to Lourdes, right? Lourdes. And I'm going to give you one line in it. And it's Stephen Ray. And Stephen Ray, he's the husband of Kathy Bates, right? Now, Kathy Bates is Irish, she's, albeit she's American, but she's got a great accent. She's got it to the T. And he says to her, "You're not going to Ireland. You're not going to Lourdes." And she says, "I am." He said, "You're not going to Lourdes. Not with that too good looking for himself priest." Not with that too good looking for himself priest. You're not. He said, "I am."
I can imagine his face saying that as well, Stephen. He's got a deadpan face, hasn't he? Like when he's saying things.
Yeah. And he's got a load of little kids as well. But it's a fantastic film. It's a fantastic film. It doesn't put a tear in your eye. Nothing will. There's no emotion in your body if it doesn't put a tear in your eye.
It was really moving performance from Stephen Ryan in The Crying Game, wasn't it?
Crying Game, yeah.
That was a brilliant performance, that.
Well, Norman says, I'm obsessed with Weston's Rio Bravo. That was a good film, Rio Bravo.
Yeah, was.
What was that? Was that? No, well, hang on. Was Rio Bravo the one with Dean Martin in? What was that?
I'm not sure.
That was a great film.
And it was one with John Wayne and Glenn Campbell. When was that?
No, it was Frankie Avalon in it, Dean Martin, John Wayne, Ward Bond.
John Wayne was in it, yeah.
Ward Bonds was in it as well. He was in it. And it was, I forget this fella's name as well, Walter Brennan.
Oh, I remember
him.
Funny accent.
Yeah.
Old guy. Yeah.
Some of the stage names in them days were hilarious, weren't they? Like Rip Torn and stuff like that.
Rip Torn,
that's
cowboy called Gabby Hayes. Remember him, Gabby Hayes?
Gabby Hayes, yeah. Gabby Hayes, yeah. And do you ever remember Beverly Hills? The actress Beverly Hills.
Beverly Hills. An actress Beverly Hills.
Yeah.
Right.
And there was another girl, and she has what was her name? Something Storm. You know, like Windstorm or something like that, you know. Gail Storm, her name was. You know, a name like Gail Storm, you know, definitely made up.
I'll tell you another film I found very moving, Frank, was Field of Dreams.
Oh,
that was very moving. I felt very moved about that one. It would be Kevin Costner, yeah, with the baseball team.
Yeah, I've not seen that one, George.
Yeah, brilliant.
The Charlie Wood says Lilies of the Fields is a great Sidney Poitier film. JK says Clint Eastwood has also directed some good films, and so has Mel Gibson. Yeah. Did anybody ever see a film?
Apocalypto I liked from Mel Gibson. Sorry.
What was that, Lee?
Apocalypto from Mel Gibson, you know, in South America.
Yes.
Ooh.
Well, I was going to ask you, did you ever see The Passion of the Christ?
No.
Whoa. Have you seen it? Have you, Lee?
I've seen a little bit, but I was drunk and I was falling asleep and waking up drunk, like I was in my dad's. It was Christmas or something like, and it was it was a long time ago, so I haven't really seen it, but I've seen little bits of it.
Well, if you watch it, I used to have it on DVD here. Anyway, I don't have DVDs anymore. But anyway, Passion of the Christ is gruesome.
Haven't seen that.
You know, I've always said, I was given a lecture once, and it was about the Romans, because that's what I lectured in, you know, about the Roman Empire and the emperors and whatever. And I mentioned about Christ and what they did. You know, Christ came into it, about crucifixion. Because crucifixion wasn't so much just nailing you up and leaving you there, which they did, by the way. And you strangled. Did you know that?
No.
Like it wasn't like through loss of blood that you died, or through the heat of the sun or anything like that. You know, you dehydrated, obviously. But when you were hanging there with nails, but mostly they didn't put nails in you. They put ropes around your things, you know, your arms, and tied you to the cross and just let you there, just hanged you. And what you did, you actually strangled. That's how you died. That's how you died. And when some soldiers, you know, they had to be around watching these people die. And if someone was lingering on and they had to go, you know, let's get off. They used to just throw the spear into you. Or their knives, you know, their swords, they should just kill you like that. But it was put you out your misery, to be honest. And that's how the Christ died. That's how the Christ died. But when they whipped you, if they ever whipped you, and I used to say this before the Passion of the Christ, by the way, what they used to whip you was the cat o' nine tails. So they never only whipped you, but it took away the flesh and muscle and everything. And that's how Christ was whipped in the Passion of the Christ. It was very gruesome. It's horrible. It's a great film, by the way. And all the actors had to learn Latin, because of Pontius Pilate. They had to learn Latin. They also had to learn Amharic, because Jim Caviezel, he actually had to learn Amharic, and that's all he spoke throughout the film was Amharic, which was the language of Christ.
Wow.
It's an incredible film, and what the actors had to go through.
Yeah.
Great film. It really was, but gruesome. It was really gruesome. And, it's not like any other film that you see about Christ, and the crucifixion and that. It's,
I watched a good one recently. Joseph Fiennes plays a Roman tribune.
Brilliant.
Risen. Yeah.
The Risen. Brilliant.
Very good film. Very good film.
Yeah, one of the first films I saw was The Robe.
Oh, yeah.
The chariot race.
Yeah, I've not seen that one, but sounds good.
Oh,
The Robe.
No, I've not seen The Robe, no.
Wow, it's a great film, that.
Seen Spartacus and the Ten Commandments, but not The Robe.
Oh, Kirk Douglas, Spartacus.
Yeah, and at the end, everyone was standing up, and you hear one fella, he got up, I think they just grabbed him off the streets of New York, and he went, "I'm Spartacus.
I am Spartacus."
Spartacus. Unbelievable.
Another film I liked from years ago was The Quiet Man. That was John Wayne.
John Wayne, great film.
In Ireland. Victor McLaughlin. I loved it. He was great. They were great.
His son actually died. Victor McLaughlin's son actually directed that.
Yeah, did he? Oh.
Yeah.
Brilliant film, anyway.
We got his face name. Norman says black currant is good for a sore throat. Was you talking about a sore throat or something?
No, I was. I've got a bit of a croaky voice today, and I was just trying to cough before and have a drink of water.
Oh, okay. Well, JK says Black Mass and Public Enemies, two top Johnny Depp true story films. Black Mass and Public Enemies I've seen is good. I've never seen the Black Mass though. Charlie Wood, the Coen brothers used to put best on a true story. Yes. But it was all made up. You're right. The Coen brothers, really great producers and directors and storytellers. They did Fargo. They actually did Fargo, the Coen brothers, which was an excellent film. JK, question for you guys. Which Charlie and the Chocolate Factory did you guys prefer? The one with Gene Wilder or the one with Johnny Depp? I haven't seen any.
I love Gene Wilder. I love Gene Wilder.
I've only seen the Gene Wilder one.
Yeah,
I've
Gene Wilder.
Never seen them. Gene Wilder and what was it called? It was absolutely hilarious. It was hilarious.
I know. He was a brilliant actor. He is.
Stir Crazy was really funny.
Stir Crazy. I was trying to think of the name. Stir Crazy. So funny. And when they go before the judge, they done nothing, but they got accused of, robbing all that. And the judge goes like that. I'm fed up with you city slickers coming all the way from New York, because this was in the Bible Belt or somewhere. And he said, I'm gonna teach you all a lesson. He said, you're going to jail for 120 years. And Gene Wilder goes, what? What? He couldn't get himself. What? And, his sidekick was just looking at him like that.
Yeah.
What? 120 years. Brilliant film. So funny.
One of the funniest films I've ever seen. That's Stir Crazy. It's amazing, isn't it?
Absolutely. It is amazing.
I like that Home Alone when it first came out with a young kid. That was funny.
Yeah.
Some of the scenes in that were brilliant, you know.
Yeah, absolutely.
The two guys kept getting.
But you know what, though? I'm not being funny. I take everything serious, you know. I really do. And I say to myself, how could their family get on board a plane at Christmas, leaving the child at home?
Yeah, it was just fantasy, isn't it? Yeah.
I understand that, but I understand that. I really do, but
I also like the other film like in that genre when they went to the Disney World. What was that? The whole family went to Disney World.
Oh yeah.
You know the one I mean.
Lampoon, there's European Vacation, isn't there?
Yeah.
And
National Lampoon's Vacation.
Yeah.
Who was a big star in that? He was
Chevy Chase.
Yeah, that was a great film. That They broke in. It was a policeman come in with
Chevy Chase.
Brilliant.
Stephen Ray, one of the most underrated actors ever, says Charlie Woods. Absolutely.
Yeah, I wouldn't argue with that. He's a brilliant actor.
Frankie, I'm going to have to go now in a minute because I'm going to pick my wife up from the restaurant.
No. Have you enjoyed it, George?
Yeah, lovely. Really enjoyed it. Yeah, it's great. But I said I need to pick her up at 1:45.
No, of course. Listen, write that down, The Miracle Club.
I've written it down. Yeah, I've written it down.
It's absolutely brilliant.
I'll try and get hold of that and let you know what I think.
Okay.
What she thinks.
Thank you, George.
All right.
And you can join us again anytime, you know.
Yeah, it was nice today. I was able to do it because I've got a free few hours and she's off enjoying herself.
I mean, when you're free, you know, just YouTube the game.
Yeah, really good. Enjoyed every minute. Nice to see you, Lee.
And you, George.
Yeah, I'll see you next Tuesday, Frank. See you next Tuesday. The boys win tonight, you know.
Yeah, give a prediction.
3-0 to Liverpool.
Okay, I'll see you, George, Tuesday.
Bye.
Bye. And then there was two. Then
took the words right out of my mouth then.
Isn't it great? Isn't he great, George? You know?
Yeah.
He's great. I love him. Charlie Wood says there's loads of Irish films on TV lately. I always get mixed up with Rio Bravo and Rio Lobo. Yeah, same, Charlie.
I tell you, a good little independent Irish film, The Garage. It's got the fella. Did you watch Father Ted?
Never watched it.
Oh, no. Doesn't matter, but there was an actor who was in Father Ted. He plays a simpleton who wore a T-shirt that says, "I shot JR," and he's just like the town idiot or whatever. But he plays, the same type of person in this film, but it's a very good little independent Irish film, The Garage. He's just some fella who works in a garage, but he's not very bright. He's mentally challenged or whatever they call it these days. What did he call it these days that's politically correct? When people
yeah.
Well, he's like that. He's a bit slow. But it's a good film. It's sad, but it's a good film.
Well, Johnny Depp.
It's funny. It's a funny film, and then sad at the end.
Well, that's a comedy drama, isn't it? Really?
Yeah.
Well, J.K. says Depp is the fourth cousin of the Queen, and so is Danny Dyer. Related. Believe that, would you?
What Johnny
Tony Curtis with A and B, says Charlie Wood. Tony Curtis with A and B. I don't know, you might have been talking while I was out to get me things. Mark Simon says, remember the horror film called Candyman about a slave who comes back from the dead? In the novel by Clive Barker, it was originally set in Liverpool, was changed to the Louisiana for the movie. Yeah, because Clive, he is a Scouser, and there's a fella named Mark. what's his name? Was his mate. He used to have a bevy with him every Christmas. Forget his name now. God, forget his name.
Got any idea what part of Liverpool Clive Barker came from?
I think he came from the likes of McGull or somewhere like that, you know, the leafy suburbs, you know, the likes of Woolton or somewhere like that.
Okay. Yeah.
Mark Atkins, his name was, his sidekick, and he was a great friend of his. And he went over to Hollywood because they were filming. Dracula, funny enough, you know, with Gary Oldman, Anthony Hopkins. That's a great film, that. Anthony Hopkins. And I said, he went to the Francis Ford Coppola's house. He was asked to go along there anyway. He went along and he was with them. And he said, do you know who's sitting there? I said, who? He said, Al Pacino. I said, go away. I said, what was he like? He said, lovely man. Lovely man. And that's all he said about him, you know. He was a lovely man, Al Pacino.
He's meant to be a very quiet person or something in real life.
Very reserved, yeah. Very reserved. But he was in Coppola's house. A classic movie with James Mason, Spring and Port Wine, and Susan George. Oh, I love Susan George. Used to have a crush on Susan.
I remember her, yeah. I love James Mason. I watched Salem's Lot recently, you know, the old TV one with him and David Soul. Brilliant. I loved it because that came out when I was about 8, and that bald vampire scared me senseless.
Yeah.
I still used to be scared of that bald vampire when I was in my early teens, and I'd walk home at night because I used to walk home at night in the dark over the tip, and there was no lampposts and it was pitch black. I used to think of that bald vampire from Salem's Lot.
And he used to come up like that to me, you know.
You couldn't see a thing.
Horrible. Horrible. And he had them buck teeth.
Yeah, yeah.
Remember, you know, when you see him in profile.
Yeah.
Horrible.
Well, I like the old Nosferatu from 1922 by, who does Nosferatu?
It was Nosferatu because
the original Nosferatu was directed by the German, what's his name? I can't remember his name now. But then you've got Werner Herzog's Nosferatu in 1972. That's a good one.
They were replicating, weren't they?
I've got it. F.W. Murnau was the fellow who directed the original Nosferatu in the 20s with the up the stairs, the shadow. Yeah. That was him, yeah. Scary stuff. For the 20s, not scary.
JK says, Frank, you will love Charlie and the Chocolate Factory. There's a very good message in the film. I'll have a look at it, JK. I will. Wilder and Richard Pryor. That was in that film we were talking about before.
Dynamite, weren't they? As a team, they were absolute dynamite together.
Yeah. But that was the best film, you know, where they were in prison. Absolutely hilarious.
Grossberger.
Yeah. Absolutely hilarious. American Werewolf in London, yes, classic effects before CGI, says Mark Simons. Ruins everything, funny, scary, and sad at the end. All filmed in sunny England and Wales. Yep. I'll suggest a film for the people to watch. And it only reminded me when was it JK or some Soulboy put about Danny Dyer. There's a film called Severance, and it's about team building, but it was abroad. They sent them abroad from England over abroad. This team building crew, you know, to get on well with each other and whatever. And it's called Severance. and they worked for an arms dealer, you know, big company like Raytheon is today, you know, making millions out of the wars, today's wars. Anyway, watch Severance. Danny Dyer's in that. And Peter McInerney, he's brilliant in. It's like a comedy drama. It really is. It's like a comedy drama. Try and watch it. Try and get hold of it. It's just called Severance. It's an unbelievable film.
It's a rewarding watch, is it, Frank?
Oh, yeah. Yeah. It's really good. Uncle Buck was a good film, says Norman. Yeah, Uncle Buck was brilliant. Did you ever see that?
I haven't, but I've seen Trains, Planes, Automobiles. I've not even seen the what is it, the one, Cool Runnings? I've not seen that one either, but I do love John Candy.
National Lampoons. I think that's what you were saying before. You were trying to get the thing. Okay.
Actually, I've got a book here by. He used to be editor for National Lampoon, P.J. O'Rourke, Holidays in Hell. It's quite funny. That was just a coincidence, but he used to be editor for National Lampoon magazine, O'Rourke, years ago. But he's quite a funny man, like. He
Look up
there, people in this book, but it's quite funny. I don't get offended by Americans written on Brits, like.
Well, Bear, listen to this. Like this, isn't it? Bear, he comes on and says, "Is this a football show?" He must have seen my name or whatever. I said, "Oh yeah, look, get on. You must be talking football." Like Jamie Phillips, when he came on, he must have been taught that I was talking football. And he said, "Is this a football show?" And JK says, "Bear, it's a film show with a hint of football." He replied, "Okay, cool." It's great. Mr. Mercedes is a good Stephen King series, Lee.
Okay. I'll make a mental note of that. Well, quite easy to remember that one, Mr. Mercedes.
I've never seen that. I like Stephen King. Have you ever seen The Langoliers?
No.
No. The Langoliers by Stephen King.
I'm not exactly an aficionado of Stephen King. I like him, but I don't know. I only know a handful of his stories, a handful.
And there's a good thing for Charlie Wood says, "Don't get Severance mixed up with the TV series. Totally different story." Absolutely. I wonder if Charlie had seen Severance, because I'd like someone's opinion on it. I thought it was brilliant. I really did. The Christmas Vacation will soon be on again. Dead funny. It is funny. I've seen that National Lampoon's the Grimwolds, isn't it?
Griswolds.
Well, Beverly D'Angelo. She's in Beverly. Yeah. And do you know who she was married to?
No.
Al Pacino.
Was she? Was she married to Pacino?
Yeah, and she had twins.
Interesting fact.
She's lovely,
yeah. I can see why, like, he married her.
Beverly, yeah. He's never ever been married, Do you know that? Pacino.
Hasn't he, no?
Never been married.
Yeah, National Lampoons were funny. They did funny records as well. We used to have some of them records when I was a teenager. There was loads of good National Lampoon stuff. Do you remember that comedy record years ago? Like, you'd have Monty Python records, Peter Cook and Dudley Moore records, National Lampoon records. And obviously, when you're a teenager, you might be, I don't know, and having a drink and that when you're students or whatever. And these type of records were bloody hilarious, like when I was a teenager.
Well, Mark Simon says Michael Myers, Austin Powers, as his film opening, I Married an Axe Murderer in the bar off Wood Street because half of his family are Scousers. Funny fella, him. Yeah, he's a big Liverpool fan.
Yeah.
And he comes over to the game.
Yeah. His mum and dad are both from Liverpool, as far as I know.
I think they're from Old Swan.
Yeah.
I think they were from the Swan.
Yeah.
And he's a big Liverpool fan. He
said in the 80s when Liverpool were winning the European Cup, he said his dad was like even more into it because he lived in Canada. He said he loved it even more because he was so far away. You know what I mean? So that made him a massive Liverpool fan.
Well, a few years ago, just before COVID, someone took a picture. And it was there, believe it or not. I forget what game. Well, it was a midnight. It was an evening kickoff. So someone took a picture. And who was sitting there was John Lithgow. Right. John Lithgow, the actor. Michael Myers. There was Michael Myers, John Lithgow, and Daniel Craig.
Mm-hmm.
Daniel Craig sitting at, because the Liverpool fans.
Mm-hmm.
We'll never forget when Liverpool were playing Fulham, not just at the weekend, down at Craven Cottage a few years ago. Mm-hmm. And the camera went on someone in the stand, and he turns out to be a big Liverpool fan. Do you know who that was? Liam Neeson.
Neeson?
Yeah.
Honestly, Frank, yeah. Is that true? Yeah, Neeson, yeah. Oh, made up about that.
Yeah. And talking about Liam Neeson, what's your film called? The Grey. If you haven't seen The Grey, it's one of his best.
Fantastic film.
Film, watch it. It really is good. And there's another film, it's a true story, which I want you to watch as well. And it's called The 12th Man. The 12th Man. And it's situated in Norway. All Norwegian actors. Mm-hmm. It's really good. It's a fantastic film. It's a true story.
My surname's Swedish, apparently. I used to think it was, I wasn't sure. I knew it was Scandinavian, Carlson. But since I've been online, I've talked to lots of Scandinavians, and I'm assured that if it has its roots anywhere, it's Sweden.
It is Swedish because anything, it's like Alan Hansen. Like, Swedish, anything that's S-E-N or S-O-N that ends in, it's
Johansson. A lot of Johanssons changed their name to Johnson, anglicised it, took the Johansson and shortened it to Johnson.
Charlie Wood says, I haven't seen Severance, Frank, but I will look out for it. Watch it. Charlie, watch it. You will enjoy it. It's really good. It really is good. He carries on by saying Michael Myers' family came from Knotty Ash, Frank. Well, there you go. Well, it's by the Swan, isn't it? It's next door to the Swan, Knotty Ash, right next door. Because I remember giving a talk where Ken Dodd lives, or where he lived, And he came, and he actually came into the talk, and I was giving it to these. What was it? It was a group of houses, and it was shocking. And I think old people lived there, retirees and whatever. Yeah. So I went and gave the talk. But Ken Dodd was there. Ken came in because he only lived just up the road. And he lived about 100 yards away from this place. Anyway, he came there. And then the next day, I was actually given another talk. And it was only around the corner. I forget the name of the place. But it was only around the corner. And that was Old Swan. Just around the corner. Mark Simon says, the movie The Wolfman, very underrated, where Anthony Hopkins was produced by Tanina Bleasdale, Alan's daughter.
That's the one with Benicio del Toro.
Benicio del Toro was, he's a great actor. Love him.
Is that the one he mean? Is that the one Mark means, Wolfman?
I don't know. Well, it is like, if it's, Alan Bleasdale's daughter producing it, yeah, it would be Benicio del Toro, because it's only recent, a few years ago, isn't it? And as he says, yeah, you're right. Yeah. So, but it's good. It's a very, very good film.
Yeah.
It's The Wolfman. I think Benicio del Toro, though, is a great actor, and I've seen him in the film recently, and I forget the bloody title, and it was a cracker. It really was a cracker. But listen out for, as I said, people, listen out for The Last Voyage of the Demeter. It's a cracking film, it really is. And also The Miracle Club. Just look out for them too. They're very, very good films. Totally different from each other. Totally different. But two great films nevertheless. That's just my opinion. I give The Demeter a good 8 out of 10. And I give The Miracle Club a good 8 out of 10.
Did you say it's called The Last Voyage of the Demeter?
Yeah, The Last Voyage. The Last Voyage.
Last Voyage of the Demeter.
Yeah. Okay. And it's, I only got it on by fluke, I'm being honest. And I just said, what's this? Anyway, put it on.
Happy accident.
Brilliant. Absolutely brilliant. It really was brilliant. So these are the type of things that, that come flukish, if you know what I mean. They come flukish. I'll tell you the great film. And I never watched it for a few years. Excuse me. I can't get rid of this thing, I can't put anything on it. I can't shave because my face it's killing me now. It really is. It's so. That's why I'm always scratching. And
hope it calms down for you, mate.
Yeah, it's right under my skin. And anyway, I'm waiting for an appointment with this dermatologist. I can't put a blade in there, Can't put a blade. So I've got a beard, black and white beard, look. Anyway, I forgot what I was going to say.
On The Last Voyage of the Demeter, were you still?
No. It was a film that came to mind. And it's really good. So they're the two films, The Miracle Club, get onto it. And The Last Voyage of the Demeter, get onto that. Two fantastic films. Oh, that's right. I was trying to think of the title of a film. I'll tell you another one to watch. I only watched it for the second time. I watched it the other day. And it's a Norwegian film, but it's in
one with you told me about, I think you.
Quake. It's called Quake. It's called Quake. And it's absolutely, the special effects are absolutely amazing. Absolutely amazing. So try and watch it if you can. Just try and watch it if you can. Called Quake. And that's, as I said, the special effects is absolutely brilliant. What you think of me coat? I'm freezing, sitting here. I had to go down.
It's nice and warm, yeah.
I had to go down and pick up my mail. See? I had to go and get that.
It is bitterly cold, though, isn't it, mate? It's bitterly cold.
My legs are killing me. And I had to leave the doors open, so I could hear the bell. I could hear the bell. So I threw this on, and I thought, oh, this is warm. Because my eating is non-existent.
Yeah, mine's rubbish as well. My living room's too big, like it's got a high ceiling as well. Too big for me.
It's nuts. Well, Mark Simon says, what do you think of Ridley Scott's Napoleon? It's awful.
I've heard about it.
It's awful. It's woeful, Mark, simply because I watched it and I'm saying, this is wrong, this. You've got to understand that Napoleon has won 60 battles. No one's ever done that before. He was the greatest tactician ever. I know all about Napoleon, by the way. I know all about him. And he brought out some of the greatest things. He brought out trench warfare. He brought out so that his soldiers didn't have to go foraging. He brought out tinned stuff. So
he was a military genius, wasn't he? The man, he was a military genius, like.
Yeah. And when you think about the Foreign Legion and the hats, even the French soldiers and the flap, that was to keep the sun off the necks of the soldiers. He loved his soldiers. He loved his soldiers. And also the big tall poplar trees, he actually had them planted to keep the sun off his soldiers. He's one of the greatest. And the film doesn't do him justice at all. All it does is give Josephine. It made him look like a wimp. And he wasn't a wimp. He wasn't a wimp. He was an incredible man.
To be honest, I'm not the type of person that would watch, like, all right, it's Ridley Scott, it's about Napoleon, but I wouldn't watch it just on that basis. Like, I won't be watching it because people have said it's rubbish, but yeah, but I do like, Napoleonic history, but this film I won't be seeing now.
No, don't. It'll disappoint you. And Joaquin Phoenix is totally miscast. Totally miscast as Napoleon. I don't know why Joaquin Phoenix picked up a script and says, oh yeah, I think I'll play, unless he knew nothing about Napoleon. It's like me, if I got a script to play, let's say, John Wayne, I'd say, well, I look like nothing like him. I couldn't play John Wayne.
Joaquin Phoenix is short. He's got that going for him, but I don't know why they cast him as Napoleon.
No. And Napoleon was only 32. Joachim was about nearly 50 or something like that. So he was totally miscast. Snug as a bug in a rug, Frank. This one. Thank you, Karen.
Great name, that. Kyaku.
Yeah, it's Greek. Greek. And JK says Ridley Scott has made some top films. And he has made some top films, but this one, God, I couldn't believe it.
Yeah. If this ends up being his final film, it'd be a fairly miserable coda to a glittering career.
Yeah, a bad legacy. A bad legacy. JK says, Analysis and The Wizard of Lies, 2 top De Niro films. Yeah, The Wizard of Lies, yeah. He was with Michelle Pfeiffer in that. He's played with Michelle Pfeiffer a couple of times as Bobby De Niro. I forget what it was, where he has to go into exile, you know, from the mafia family, and he goes to France to live. And he goes to France. Michelle Pfeiffer's his wife, and he's got kids as well. It's not that funny. It's just funny. If you can imagine the French way of life in one of these little villages, you know, French village, and he's walking around, big mafia fella, you know, hitman and everything. Has to go in there into hiding. Unbelievable. JK, Garrett's Ash, I'm off to Notty Ash was the first thing I thought of when I seen the Notty Ash sign coming into Liverpool the very first time. Garrett's Ash, I'm off to Notty Ash. JK. Oh. That's what I was going to mention, Mark. The Gladiator. That's what I was talking about before I went on about my stupid face. The Gladiator, I never watched it for years. A few years. And, you know, people say, oh, that's a cracking film. See, as I said, I taught or lectured about the Roman Empire, Roman Britain and whatever. And I said, no, because it won't be historical fact. And a few years later, I seen this, a former colleague of mine who actually taught about the Romans himself. And I was chatting to him. And he said, have you seen Gladiator? I said, no, I won't watch it. Whatever. I said. And he said, watch it. Do me a favour and watch it. He said, I'm not going to tell you. I said, no, I'd be fixing. He said, just watch it. And I watched it for the sake of him saying, watch it. And do you know what? Brilliant.
Yeah.
Albeit Maximus in it was fiction. Everything around him was spot on historically.
Mm-hmm.
Spot on historically. Brilliant film. Brilliant film. Bloody hell, I'm impressed with the pronunciation of my name.
You're welcome, Karen.
Karen Kariakou. Yeah.
Yahoo.
Me and Adriana couldn't pronounce it when she first started, you know, commenting on the shows. And as she says, Goodfellas, Boss film, the acting is second to none. Absolutely. The script is unbelievable. Unbelievable. And Mark says, just watch Ronin with De Niro and a coterie of great. I've watched that a couple of times. Jean Reno was it? Yeah. Jean Reno.
I like what's his name in it?
And Price.
Stellan Skarsgård. I like him in it. Stellan Skarsgård. He double crosses when he tries to double cross them, doesn't he?
Jonathan Price. He was the IRA fella.
Yeah, he was good in it.
Sean Bean was in it as well. But he only had a little minor part. Sean Bean. Absolutely brilliant film. And talking about Ronin, watch a film with Keanu Reeves called 47 Ronin. 47 Ronin. It's brilliant. It's a true story. 47 Ronin. And it's about samurai. The samurais. It's a fantastic film. And Philip Bidwell, talking of actors that has been miscast, Tom Cruise is number one as Jack Reacher in the 2 Jack Reacher films.
I've seen one of them.
I like Cruz, believe it or not.
Excuse me 1 second.
Yeah, but you know, as you said there, Phil, you've got him. He more or less plays Ethan Hunt out of Mission Impossible as Jack Reacher. So who else would you, you cast as Jack Reacher? Jack Reacher had 2 good films actually. I enjoyed them. Mark Simon's Bourne Identity with Matt Damon as well. Loved them Euro flicks. Yeah. And Charlie says Sean Bean was great in Ronin. He was. But what I thought about that was they were making out the British to be right dopes. Typical Americans, to be honest. And Charlie Wood says the Reacher series is good. Yeah, that's with, what's his name? His name's there on the tip of my tongue. What's his name? I think he's a good actor as well. But I understand the series, what you said. I understand the series, what you said, which is great. Anyway, people, it's I've been on since 2 o'clock. I've got to get ready for the match. You getting ready for the match?
Yeah. I think it's going to be a bitty and scrappy game with a lot of stoppages, Frank, is me feeling about this Sheffield United game. It's going to be loads of stoppages. It's going to be awkward, but hopefully we'll get the job done without any injuries.
I think if we get, I think the job will be done, to be honest. I'll be watching. I'll be watching it with a bated breath. And George gave a prediction of 3-0. He said we win 3-0. I go along with that scoreline, what he's given.
I've been changing. I went 4-0. Oh, no. Actually, I'm wrong. I'm thinking about the last game. I haven't predicted the score for this one.
So aren't you going to give a prediction?
No? Oh, yeah. I'll go 3-1. So
we're going to concede.
Yeah,
we're going to... What is about Kelleher, by the way?
He was dodgy on the second goal against Fulham, but it was his first game, so he's got to get into the run.
He's a goalkeeper. He trains every day. He's got the best goalkeeper in the world to learn off.
Well, we'll see
I blame him for 2 goals. I'll tell you who I blame for the. I'll tell you who I blame for the 3rd goal. Or was it the opening goal? I'm not quite so sure. Hang on, let me think. No, it was their opening goal. And I'll tell you who I blame. Matip,
yeah.
Matip had the ball and he gave us such a weak pass.
It was rubbish.
It was, and they just got it, ran down, goal. Through him.
Yeah.
Through Matip.
Well, he's out now, isn't he? So we'd be seeing Gomez and Quansah more. And I think we'd be seeing young Bradley and Chambers a little bit more because of that. Because Gomez won't be able to play fullback as much. So they'll get more minutes here and there, I would imagine.
JK says, Frank, the Arsenal-Luton game was going well until you went off air last night. We should have stayed on live until it was over. Should have stayed on live until it was over.
Shame that late winner. Like their late winner against Brentford, another shame.
Well, that's the way it is, isn't it? That's the way it is. We look at us, how jammy, would other supporters be saying about us? 2 goals within 30 seconds. I think they'll park the bus tonight, says Charlie. And Philip says, it should be an actor that's 6 foot tall, as in the Jack Reader books. He is 6'4", and Tom Cruise is a foot too small. No, you're right.
Is he really 5'4", Tom Cruise?
I think he's a bit taller than that.
About 5'6" or something.
Yeah.
He's got a point, though. If the character was wrote as a 6'4" person, if it stipulates that in the book, it's a bit weird. I've never heard of it. I've seen one of the films. It's not something I know about, really, Jack.
Well, the thing is, if you're talking about height and whatever, and he can't play that or whatever. The worst thing now about films, and even Clint Eastwood said it, is wokeness.
Yeah.
You can't say anything. You can't do anything. The diversity is taken over films, if you know what I mean.
They don't care about the profits anymore, do they? It's just to get this message out. They don't care about making money, or they don't care about entertaining people half as much as they used to. More about preaching, innit?
And JK says, Kelleher needs to sort out his positioning sharpish.
We see that tonight. He should be, hopefully tonight, he'll be right on it in every aspect of his game. The Thing might be one, Mark. The Thing from 1982.
Yeah, The Thing. Have you just read that? What's your favourite song?
John Carpenter's The Thing, because I was like 8 or 9 when it come out. Great film, man.
Do you know what? I tell you, my favourite. My favourite is Extraterrestrial.
I've not seen that one.
It's you have?
What, E.T.?
No, Extraterrestrial.
Yeah.
Remember, we were talking about, you said, oh, yeah, it's a cracker.
Explain it a bit.
Right. I don't want to go too much into it because people might want to watch it.
Yeah, just the basic. Who's in it?
What it is, it's about a girl gets a phone call. At the very beginning, I'll give you the beginning. It's raining, and you're out in the sticks somewhere, in America, obviously. You're out in the sticks, and you see a girl running, and she sees this shop. And you see a fella inside, and he's mopping up, some young fella. And she's banging on the door. She's saying, open up, open up. And she's drenched. And the fella looks at her and goes, no, we're closed. You go away. Go away. She said, well, can I use your phone? And he said, no, there's one just there. And he puts the closed sign up, to the shop, the closed. So anyway, she goes to the little telephone booth. And she dials. And the next, this beam of light envelopes where the phone booth where she's calling.
Yeah.
And it just goes, and then it comes down and smashes on the ground. Smashes the phone booth. And the fella comes out and he's looking around and he's just seeing this like smouldering of this telephone booth on the ground. And that's how it starts. Extraterrestrial.
Okay.
It's like a little film. Why did he get sending me messages? So that's my favourite sci-fi film. I like sci-fi films, I really do. The old ones is it came from outer space, or it came from beyond space, that one. War of the Worlds, the 1953 one. And I like the year 2005 one as well, with Tom Cruise, funny enough. He was in it. I like that. And what was that one? Kevin McCarthy. The Body Snatchers. The Invasion of the Body Snatchers.
Mm-hmm.
That was in the 1950s, not the one with the most modern one. So the Invasion of the Body Snatchers was again one of my favourites. Matip has cost us a few goals this season. Christmas is soon, but we need to stop giving out presents as soon as, says JK. Lee, have you enjoyed it?
I have, mate. Yeah, much so.
Because Jason said, I sent a message to Jason. I said, you'll have to send it. He said, I forgot his email. But he thought we were going out at the weekend, but we changed it at the last minute. And he never hears us changing it. So that's why I had...
Will I have to send him an email again, will I, so he knows it, or...?
No, he knows it. He's got it, but he left it at home.
Oh, right. Yeah, I didn't look on Facebook. I never thought. I just looked on YouTube. I just come here on YouTube and looked. I never thought about Facebook to go on that.
Well, that's why I'm glad I seen your name, because I thought you might have been out or something. That's why I sent you the message. Yeah. Anyway, you're here.
Yeah.
Obviously,
since I've had Facebook, I log into it probably once a day. I do log into it, like,
I'm not into it now. It's very rare that I go on. I haven't sent any messages out. I didn't even put anything on about Dean Sullivan, because Dean was a friend, lovely man. Just a shame, So I didn't put anything on that. Do you ever remember a science fiction book called Light
I remember that. Yeah.
Tobe Hooper again was one of my favourite directors, by the way.
Good director.
Because he directed Poltergeist.
Yeah, and Texas Chainsaw Massacre.
Texas Chainsaw. Do you know what I said about that? I said about Texas Chainsaw, whoever wrote that script must have had a sick mind.
Yeah.
Must have had a sick mind. But Tobe Hooper, absolutely, on the Life Force, brilliant. Absolutely brilliant.
He took it from the Ed Gein story, didn't he? Texas Chainsaw Massacre. All this grave robbing and stuff, like.
Yeah, absolutely. So anyway, we'll have a couple of more series. As I said, get onto that Spotless, which is on Netflix. Get onto that. That's a really good series. Only a few episodes. I watched them from back to back when I first put it on. And excellent. There's also another series called Kin, about Irishmen, about the Irish. It's good. Kieran Hines is in it. Kieran Hines.
Good actor, yeah. Like Kieran Hines, yeah. Very good actor.
Oh, he's brilliant. He can do anything. He can actually do anything. Enjoy the game, guys. You never walk alone. 3 points. Thank you, JK. Get that bloody mic sorted.
See you, Jay.
Next week, hopefully. Your mic. Jay, I'll see you tomorrow on the football show. What you think? Jay, league, I'm sorry.
Yeah. Do you want me to come on or just?
No, I want you to come on. No, it's
okay, sounds yeah. Be happy to, mate. Yeah.
And don't know who'll be on tomorrow. I really don't. Check out a great French film called Brotherhood of the Wolf, a true story, an underrated classic. I like French films.
I do, yeah. I've liked French films for quite a number for a long time now.
Yeah, brilliant.
Good films, yes.
I'll tell you a film to watch. I don't normally watch zombie films, really. But watch a film called Train to Busan. It's a South Korean film.
Watch it.
It's really, really good. It really is good. And there's a little girl in it, and it's the best acting I've ever seen in my life from a child.
I seen it about 4 years ago, but I forgot a lot of it now. But I did like it. I enjoyed it. It was a good film.
Train to Busan, people. And and JK has got a little smiley face there. And Charlie says, "You never walk alone." And as I said, 3-0 for us tonight. What do you think of John Wick, lads? Says Mark. I love them. I love the Wick.
It's okay. So I don't go mad over it. How many is the two? Is the two of them?
The first one was brilliant. The second one was very good.
Yeah.
But you can get a bit. Did you know that he's making the fifth one as we speak?
I thought there was only two.
No, he's making the fifth one as we speak.
I like The Equalizer with Denzel Washington. Similar type of thing. He's good as Robert McCall or Denzel.
Denzel.
Good in he is The Equalizer. Because I remember The Equalizer when I was a kid with Edward Woodward. But Denzel does a good Robert McCall.
Yeah. Denzel Washington. And as Mark says, the last John Wick was pure popcorn. Well, don't forget he's doing the fifth one. But you're right. You're right. The first one is the best. Absolutely brilliant. And I'll check 47 Ronin out, Frank. Reeves isn't a top actor, but he is and makes top films. It's absolutely brilliant. And I did something for Japanese television. I'm going back years ago. I've done 3 things for Japanese television, you know.
Yeah.
I did 3 different companies as well. And I did one company was filming me on the Tuesday, and the other film company was filming me on the Wednesday. But the first film company, they were filming, I forget where it was, but do you know where he ended up in? I ended up in Rigby's, you know, Dale Street.
Yeah.
And they were doing all that to me, right? They were doing all that. And I was talking and whatever. And there was this actor. I don't know, hang on, no. There was this Japanese fella, and he was talking, and he was in Japanese. Now, when I was told later on that I was talking back to him, right, because the interpreter was there, but you couldn't see the interpreter, as though I was speaking Japanese when I was talking.
Okay.
You know the way he said it. But anyway, this particular fella I was talking to, and he was talking to me. He's a top actor. And do you know who it was? Kanata. Oh, I forget his name. Kanata. And he said to me at the time, he's the top actor in Japan.
I think I know who you mean. I think I know which actor you mean.
And the only thing I can tell you about him is, and that's when they said about 47 Ronin. He starred in that. Or he's doing, I think it was in production. I'm sure of it. Anyway, but he was also in Life with Jake Gyllenhaal, Ryan Reynolds, And he was the Japanese fella in it.
Yeah, I know the bloke you mean. Yeah,
that's him. And when I seen 47 Ronin, I was going, wow, you know, I was acting there. Well, I wasn't even acting, I was just being me.
Yeah.
Because he wanted to know about Liverpool, you see. But I didn't know that it was, you know, it's a practice. Mad, is it? And finish on this. I love mind-bending films like Inception and The Matrix. The Matrix. Lee, I've got to go, people. I really have. I'm absolutely freezing sitting here. I'm gonna put the oven on and I'm gonna sit in the oven. Shit, I'm freezing. My legs are numb.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
I've got the heating on and I can't feel the heating. I'm gonna go and get over by the radiator now and warm my hands up and put me back against it, you know, back of my legs against it.
See, they won't finish. Look, Rise of the Foot Soldiers, proper Cockney films. Yeah. I'm going to finish. Lee, I'll see you tomorrow night.
Okay, mate. Do you come on Facebook for the link or you?
No, it'll be home, you see, so it'll be the normal link.
Brilliant.
All right. Because he forgot about you today.
Okay.
And my mate Karen Kariaki sends me a big kiss. Look at it. Big lips. I bet you that's not Neil Broderick. I bet you any money. It is. Sod off, Neil. It does it all the time. I've finished the... You know what I want to say, don't you? It starts with an F. Anyway, Lee, I'll see you tomorrow. Thank you, Karen. Give my regards to that great fella of yours, Steve. You love Obi. And I'll see you all tomorrow night, people. I'll see you all tomorrow night.
Okay, mate.
On the football show. Okay, Lee. Thank you so much. See you later, mate. Thank you. Enjoy the game.